Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we have a special guest. We have Teresa here. We are going to be talking about learning to really balance our lives and learning how to have the best life for ourselves. Teresa, why don't you go ahead and fully introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mitzi, and thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Mhm.
I am a business, life, and intuitive coach. And this has been an evolution of my life. So I've spent 30 years in corporate America, executive team, individual contributor. I've been a life coach for about 15 years, and I was born intuitive. And what I've learned over the last 2 years is that when I can bring all of those tools together, I'm able to support individuals and groups in a way that allows them to really live a super fulfilling life, as opposed to just kind of bumping along on life and living, well, what I call living by default.
What do you mean by living by default? That's interesting.
Living by default is when we just keep doing the same things we've always done.
Mhm.
We don't set intentions. I don't want to use the word ambitions because ambition has such a dual feeling to it, right?
Yeah, it's very
But
subjective.
it is, isn't it? So for me, it's about setting intentions. It's about saying, I'm okay where I'm at, but I really like more of this in my life.
Mhm.
And living by default is simply doing what society says you're supposed to do. Go get the job, have the kids, get the degree, get the white picket fence. And I think you and I both know that for 99% of us, that's not the right solution.
Nope.
No. And I think we're learning to give ourselves permission to live
Mhm.
from our hearts, from our dreams, to give ourselves what we deserve.
Yeah.
So,
I like the way that you said that. And it's true. We do all need to learn how to give ourselves what we deserve. And I think that's the hardest thing is understanding what you deserve,
yeah.
because a lot of people did, I think this is the right word, disqualify. I think that's the right word, disqualify themselves from just having the basic love, happiness, joy, peace, acceptance, feeling belong, just giving themselves those basic desires that we all are born into just naturally having. And I think that's sad how people just automatically disqualify themselves saying, I don't deserve this, this should never happen to me, or this will never happen to me. And it's kind of crazy to think about. And I see that like you really try to promote to people about finding that, and in what ways do you do that in precise, if you don't mind?
Yeah. I think the foundation. So, first of all, Mitzi, that was beautiful. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And it almost makes me want to cry that people can't see how amazing and beautiful they are.
Yeah.
You're put on this planet for a reason. I believe that there's two things in life that are kind of life imperatives. One, to recognize you're amazing.
Mhm.
You're here for a purpose. And two, the world needs you. The world needs you to step into your brilliance.
Mhm.
Because when you do that, you are happy and fulfilled and joyful, and you have love and abundance. But when you embody that, you then radiate that energy out into the world and implicitly give everybody else permission to step into their beauty and brilliance. So the foundation belief that I do everything by is life doesn't happen to you, it reflects you.
Mm. I like that. Elaborate if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's everything within us determines what happens in our life. If we believe we're worthy, if we believe that we're beautiful and amazing and we have gifts, then the universe will respond by providing opportunities for us to step into that way of being.
Yeah.
If you believe you're a victim, and a victim encompasses a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's whether it's in a bad relationship or by taking advice from somebody who doesn't have your best interests at heart, or by doing something that you know isn't aligned with your values. That's being a victim. And if you feel disempowered, that's what's going to show up in your life. So when we talk about creating this life of brilliance and beauty, this fulfilled life, it has to come from within.
It does.
Yeah.
It truly does. And I've been speaking with a lot of individuals, bringing them on my show, and they've been teaching me a lot. And one thing that I've been kind of putting together and realizing is that when you are trying to manifest a better life for yourself and it happens, it's usually because you have finally accepted your true self, or you finally accepted a different perspective, that now what you wanted is actually ready for you. You know what I mean? Like it's like a gateway, and now the gate is open because now you realize you're ready for this. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you level up every time. I don't know, that's just my perspective. I mean, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, that's so brilliant. I agree 100%. What you want wants you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could not agree more. And life is the journey, right? So we're constantly leveling up. We're constantly saying yes to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm making you think about it. See, I do make people think.
You do. No doubt. I love it.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Now I lost my train of thoughts. Okay, yes, I'm back. So, I'm here on your website and I have it up. And one of the first things that you have is you teach people how to live from their own genius. And that right there, that statement was like, that's amazing. So when you say that and your perspective, what do you necessarily mean by that? Because I have my own, but I want to hear from you. I don't want to
Yeah.
distract you like I did with the other one.
Okay, so I'll share, then you can tell me your thoughts too. I believe that going back to the first two reasons why we're on the planet, is the first reason is to live into our zone of genius. Every single one of us on this planet has a purpose. We are here for a reason. And the reason is first our evolution, and second, the world's evolution, society's evolution, because who we are influences everybody that we come across, everybody in our sphere, right? So when we take responsibility for that internal place within ourselves, and we continue to level up, like you just said, we move into our zone of genius. We begin to see how we can positively influence, right?
Mhm.
And when people do the inquiry about finding their zone of genius, it's always that thing that is so easy for you to do, that it's effortless. You do it naturally.
Yeah.
That is your zone of genius. It's not your job, it's your purpose. It's your zone of genius and how you live into your purpose. So for me, I'm a mirror for my clients. I'm a high level intuitive. And what that means is I see, I feel, I know, and I sense. I was born that way. I've had all of these gifts my whole life. And what I learned is my zone of genius is being able to see everything that is latent in you that wants to be expressed. And then working with you to help you be brave, to be courageous, and see that in yourself so that you can step into that fulfilled life.
Mhm. That's very good. I like the way that you described it. It's very well, perfectly said. Like, I feel that I don't even have to add anything to it. I think the only thing that I can say while you were talking, I was thinking about when you said stepping into your purpose and how what you do affects other people and how we really don't live these lives alone. I mean, I've preached that so many times on multiple podcasts of mine, and I strongly, strongly believe in that because you create a safe zone for yourself. And once you create that safe zone for you to be expressively free in every single way, then you allow other people to basically experience your safe zone for them to want to experience their own safe zone. And then before you know it, you have a little community that's just safe. You know, you can express yourself freely without worrying about being offensive or being ridiculed or judged or any type of way. And once you really create that community, I think it's very important. You know, it starts off slow. You know, I hear a lot of people say once I found, I mean, once I manifested the new friends and new environments, it kind of just happened to me. And I think that's a kind of way of it really happening, you know?
Yep. That's what I call dancing with the universe.
Mm.
So when we embrace this opportunity to change and step into this new way of being, this zone of genius, whatever our intention is, the universe responds. It feels it. So when we put our attention to our intention,
Mm.
I know, isn't that clever?
I know. I like that. I had to think about that one. There you go. I like it.
When we put our attention to our intention and then we fuel it with feelings like excitement and joy and happiness, the universe receives that and it says, oh, look, she's ready. She wants to do this. Let's bring it on. And then all of your guides, all of your angels, all of the energy that supports your journey on this planet comes together to give you your heart's desire and something more, because our perspective on what's available is based on our own life experience, right? So it's pretty narrow, it's pretty small. The universe, God, has infinite wisdom. The energy of God or the universe can give you something greater than what even you can imagine. And it wants to. It really, really does. I wish people would hear this because the universe does conspire for your good. And when you put your intention, fuel it with some emotions, and let it go, the universe will respond. And all of a sudden, you're creating those beautiful communities of like-minded people. You're influencing the world. You're living from your zone of genius, which is, isn't that what we all want?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Isn't that what we're all striving for? I mean, I honestly feel that, excuse me, I honestly feel that we are all just trying to just have that, you know, and we are just self-sabotaging ourselves when we put these obstacles in front of us and then we move our obstacles in front of somebody else because we have that obstacle, so they should have it too, and they should be upset and they should feel this type of way because this happened to me, and it's just, it's unnecessary. You know, I
Yeah,
truly believe we make unnecessary drama for ourselves.
truth. Boy, isn't that the truth? I think we get in our way we're the only ones who can get in our way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does anything to you. We choose how we respond to life situations.
Yeah.
And when we spread that kind of drama, then we're having the opposite influence that we talked about before. Then
Yeah.
we're really disempowering more than just ourselves, then we're negatively influencing the people in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. We really are. And
Yeah.
I think that is the reason why I keep on always saying to people, if you want to change the world, change yourself. Change yourself, change the way you're thinking. If you're not sure, well, do what I'm doing and start researching, figuring it out. That's the best way to try to figure out what you're doing, because a lot of things as well as that I've learned is that a lot of things are generational. So you'll have that generational hate, you'll have that generational, pains and generational perspectives. In reality, this is a new generation. You are part of a new generation. And I truly believe this new movements of mental health and this movements of trying to figure out this self-awareness growth is really causing the past generations and the new generations to really think about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the youth today, the people in their teens, 20s, 30s are teaching the older generations, and I include myself, how to live with integrity,
Mhm.
with compassion, with kindness, and interrupting all these generational wounds that we have literally been carrying for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the good news is that the older generation are listening.
Yeah.
And I also believe this, the reason it's coming through all of the younger generation is because they're more willing to be in relationship with their emotions and to look inside and know what is right for them. They're far braver
Mm.
in this incredibly beautiful way. And I actually wrote about this in my book, which is coming out next year, but I'm really hoping that as we continue to see these new generations evolve, that we'll get better and better at being self-affirming and self-realized and putting self first without that moniker of being selfish being
Yeah.
attached to it, you know?
Yes. Oh, that word selfish is like a bittersweet of a flavor in your mouth, because depending on how you're looking at it and who you're looking at it from, it really changes everything. Because my selfish season is somebody else's jealous season or shaming season or judging season for me, because they don't know why I'm being selfish, or they don't understand how I'm able to do something when they are going through something else. But people need to realize that every single person has a selfish stage as well as a selfless stage, where they have been selfless for years, months, whatever it is, the time frame for each individual. Each person goes through a selfless phase, and then they get rewarded with being able to be selfish. And I truly
Yeah,
believe the problem comes is when you are too selfless and too selfish. And when you don't have that equal medium in the middle to keep you balanced, then that's when it becomes a problem. What do you think?
100% agree, Mitzi. I think that when we become too selfless, especially for women, we
Mm-hmm.
become doormats and we
Mm-hmm.
abdicate our own personal needs and happiness for somebody else. To me, being selfish is about putting self first, which
Mm-hmm.
is our job. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to put ourselves first and then everybody else second, because we come from a full, rich, emotionally healthy place.
Yeah.
And, when people are jealous and they say things that bring you down, I really want to remind everybody that what they're saying is never about you. It is never about you. It is always about the person making the statement.
Mm-hmm. Mm, you said
And
it.
yeah, so don't let anybody dull your shine.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing that is very important that I think just everyone deals with. They never know when is the best time to be selfish or for how long, but and I think once you're in tune with yourself, you kind of know when. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, when to just step up and take action and do something because it's the right thing to do. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people need to reflect on is what are your rights and wrongs? You know,
yeah,
because not a lot of
100%.
people know their rights and wrongs. And then that
Mhm.
comes down to their morals. Like, what
Yep.
are your morals? And not a lot of people have morals.
Yeah. Or they're willing to be flexible with them, which and I equate that with values. So I have a immutable values, like you're kind, I'm compassionate, I love, I love with a big, huge open heart. And I don't hold back that love because I think that's the greatest gift I can give.
Yeah.
I'm honest so and these become boundaries, right? They
Mhm.
become boundaries in your life. If you're unkind or mean, that's not okay. And that's not something I want in my life. Those are not the morals that I want in my life and in my energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. People need to start asking themselves the hard questions. And I'm assuming that that's what you kind of do, right? You kind of
Yeah,
help people ask themselves the hard questions, but in a safe zone. Since you're very intuitive and you're very in tune to people's energy and emotions and stuff, I would assume that you really make sure that they feel safe so that you can ask those hard questions so that they don't feel so defensive, right?
100%. They feel safe with me, and they know that everything we do together is always in their highest and best interests. That I see, know, and feel what is optimal. And I'll always be honest. I'll always share with transparency. And even if they don't choose to take my advice, they still get 100% of my support because they needed to learn something from making a decision in that direction, right?
Yeah.
And it's an evolution. Here's the other thing, just like we're doing today, Mitzi, I don't think we're meant to do this by ourselves.
Correct.
I think we're meant to meet other amazing, beautiful people who will share voices, who will share wisdom, and who will bring to the world what is needed for us all to evolve this community, this beautiful global community that we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. Like, to be honest, I'm very much enjoying our conversation. It's very easy to talk to you. I think it's just because we're both very intuitive. And when you're speaking with an intuitive person, sometimes you don't even need to say anything out loud because your minds are right there. So it's like, I already know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We already know, like, we're having our own conversation. Sorry, world, you're not part of it.
I love
But
it.
yeah, but I think this has been very great. And I really do hope that at least, as I say always, one person, even if it's one person, to take what they've heard from our conversation and just reflect and think about it, because that is the most important thing for us to reflect and think about it. Because when you're able to do that quick thought, that just that moment, you're able to make a ripple effect in your life for a lifetime. you know. So people, I truly believe people need to understand that. What advice would you give our audience or myself, if you can, before we wrap up the show?
You know, get curious, be self-responsible, and go get help. Get somebody to walk with you. I think I have a coach. I work with somebody, and they've made a huge influence on my life. I think that the more we invest in ourselves,
Mm.
the better our life will be. So take that time, make that investment, find somebody who you feel safe with, somebody who you can feel like, this is my person. They're going to take me to where I want to go, and step into it. I think that's the most important message that needs to be heard. Don't do it alone.
Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first from Teresa. She said it, and I stand right behind her. I'll sign that petition.
Right
You know,
beside me.
exactly. Sign me up because we do not live our life alone. We don't. There's no way you can honestly believe that, if that's what you actually believe, because we all affect each other some way, somehow, in the smallest of sense. Everything is all connected. And if you want to know more, if you want some help or some guidance to know how to really get yourself in that direction of your self purpose and to really living life fulfilled, go check out Teresa. I have her on mitzythinking.com. You'll find her beautiful photo there, and you'll find her website right under. All you got to do is just click it, and it'll get you straight to her so that you can set up a time to talk about it, and think about it, and really change it, change yourself and change the way you're thinking. Because like I said earlier, and on any other show, first way to change the world is to change ourselves. So with that being said, always keep thinking. Bye, y'all.